Agora eu faço live na Twitch TV. Primeiro link na descrição. Só vem. I built the world first invisible PC setup. Sabe aqueles PC de filme? Só tipo um holograma? Então, parece que ele tentou fazer.
Invisible mouse! It works just like a real mouse.
Real keyboard, invisible.
Levitating hologram screen.
Mouse invisível.
Like a real mouse.
Real keyboard, invisible.
Levitating hologram screen.
Caralho, nem fudendo. Mouse invisível, velho. Como que esse porra fez isso? Como que ele tracou a área ali, velho? Isso é bizarro, mano.
This is me, crying on the ground in fetal position like a little babe. And it's not because you guys keep sending me hemorrhoid cream in the mail.
You got that mark... Mano, olha a foto do filho da puta que manda um bagulho desse. Por causa do o nariz dele, né? Tô falando do nariz. Olha a foto do filho da puta, mano. Olha quem é, mano. Olha quem é, velho. Olha, chat. Vocês sabem quem é. Vocês sabem quem é, né, mano?
It looks the same. I know, that's the point. You see, everyone wants the cleanest setup. In fact, some people have gone as far as to say that they have the cleanest setup.
By far, the best clean setup we or anyone else have ever done.
DIY Perks, he built his PC into the desk. That's insane. But look what happens moments later. Boom. Vine boom sound effect. There's crap on the desk that you just gotta touch and see. What is that garbage? I decided I have to end this once and for all. I've got to make a setup so clean that it's literally invisible.
Caralho.
Ultralight 25-gram gaming mouse? How about 0 gram? Glarses with his Giga keyboard and his big long keyboard? How about invisible? All these TikTokers, bro, with their cable management TikToks? How about I don't have cables? I know I seem like the dumb kid that everyone farted on, but this is real. I cried a lot. This is why I didn't upload for 3 months. If this doesn't get 2 million views, I can't eat anymore. And it all started with just the desk. The Flexi Spot E7 that I've been using, kid you not, for 5 years. Easiest sell of my life. And I'll tell you more about them later. But I will say I cloned myself 2 times to put the weight of like 5 cows on this desk, and it still raised me up. And then I had to get rid of the clones. Sad. The first step is the PC. Getting the 4090 24-core CPU, all...
Caralho, RTX 4090, 13... Caralho, 64... 64 gigas de... 50 teras.
CPU, all of that beefy gamer goodness inside this desktop. And for the record, there's a bunch of different sizes and colors on their website. So this is me 3 months ago planning the entire build on a piece of cardboard, man. Oh, how naive I was on how long this would take.
Bug. It's on my back. It's gotta be. Oh!
It was actually a freaking spider. So to get all of it thin enough and properly
Aranha zona, mano, 1 pra 1, velho. Invadiu o corpinho dele, velho.
cooled, I spent 10 years of my life learning about micro soldering. Micro solder all these things together onto one board. That way it was small enough to fit inside the top. I'm just kidding. That's a laptop. More specifically, the Asus Scar 18. Asus was kind enough to send me one for this, so thanks.
I'm about to rip it open. Wish I had a green iPad.
The theory here is that if I disassemble it down to just the motherboard, it'll be thin enough to be embedded within the desk and have better specs than DIY Perks. I'm just saying.
Airflow, zoop, up in there. Zoop, pushes out.
And thanks to the Flexi Spot E7, I was able to do it while I was standing up.
Very nice. Look at that, now I can stand up.
To help me be healthy and reduce my nerd neck.
Good posture.
Avoid goblin stance.
Actually, this is very nice. I like this a lot.
Yo.
Eu sou Maurício.
All right. I did it. I gotta say, that went smoother than I expected.
This was the only time that happened. I had this science teacher when I was in elementary school, and I won't say her name because I don't want to dox her or anything. Mrs. Grooms! Get wrecked, Mrs. Grooms. How someone mails you hemorrhoid cream. And she had this competition to see who could insulate a can of juice the best with household items. So me, little dented brain, 3rd grade Mr. Homeless, got a
whole bunch of paper towels and some masking tape, and I just wrapped this bad boy up. I wrapped it up with masking tape, so many layers of paper towel. It would have stayed cold for weeks, boys. And then there was some kid named Chris. And I don't know how he did it, but he straight up made a koozie in like 10 minutes. Looked like he bought it at Walmart. Like refined can insulator product. Just like, Chris, I hope the next time that you take out the trash, there's some sort of mystery juice that drips on your shoe. But here's the thing. I watched Mrs. Grooms put the thermometer in my can, and mine was colder than Chris's. So mine was insulating better. But she looked at Chris's because I guess it looked cleaner or nicer. And she said, this one wins. And I might have been a smelly little kid, but I saw what was going on in her face, where she was disappointed in herself for choosing the one that looked cleaner, even though mine was clearly better at insulating, which was the goal, Mrs. Grooms. I won, Mrs. Grooms.
I like that.
The next thing to make not visible, the keyboard. There's a few ways I could have gone about making an invisible keyboard. One is putting the dumb little projection keyboard on the desk. They're $50 on Amazon, but here's the thing. They're stupid. Look at the thing. Look at the thing on the desk.
I want nothing.
You could also go the route of using like motion control. The problem with that is I want the tactile response of an actual keyboard. So I had this theory that if I cut out a hole in the top of the desk and then pour a very thin layer of epoxy and then mash the keyboard into it, that it would harden around the keys. I pulled the keyboard out because it was all lubed up, and then put some additional lube, and then the keys would depress and it would be a flat surface that I could paint.
Holy cow.
It's disappeared. When you paint it, this is just gonna be insane.
Try and guess if this worked first try. So while that's drying, let's move on to the mouse. How do you make a mouse invisible?
A 0-gram mouse.
Everyone wants an ultra lightweight gaming mouse, but I have the key to the lightest weight of all. This lamp.
Como assim, mano?
I have a new computer science team.
ChatGPT.
I made the computer science team write a program that detects the location of my fingers and hand using a depth sensing camera.
This was actually insane. This was insane.
That's hidden within the lamp.
Little mini computer.
At one point, this seemed like an insurmountable thing to create.
Oh, okay. That's moving the mouse. Where'd it go? Where'd the mouse go? Oh, it broke. Oh.
I actually, at this point, this is when I started to almost cry a little. It was many days and weeks, but I did it. I coded an invisible mouse.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It operates exactly the same as if a mouse were
like
there, but the mouse is not there.
Working?
Mouse here. Watch this. Okay, you ready?
Nem fodendo.
Look at that! I'm playing Minecraft! Invisible mouse! Invisible mouse Minecraft! Look, it works just like a real mouse. Like, look at that!
É, aumento.
Look at that!
Aumento DPI com
And then you want to beat something up? You want to punch? Ah!
And then I went into fetal position. You see,
Ah,
my
okay.
keyboard theory did not work. First, the epoxy was too thick,
That didn't work.
Teeny tiny little baby layer, super thin.
and then the epoxy was still too sticky.
This is like 4 days later, round 2. So, fart.
So I gave it one last attempt with liquid plastic resin. And at this point, I felt very dumb,
So we're gonna leave that, see what happens.
but it looked like just maybe it was gonna work.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
So then I
yeah.
can put the keyboard in there,
Got it.
paint it, sand it and paint it, and then it will be completely invisible. And stinking Joel knew the whole time. He's like, oh, because my name's Joel Creates. I know everything about creating, and so I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, and it's going to be extremely helpful.
Pretty much, yeah. It was really helpful, actually. I just didn't follow his advice. So.
And I had to spend 2 weeks of my life individually lubricating and sanding, gently, tediously developing the perfectly sized cutout holes on the top of the desk.
You know how you can add
tá
15
torto.
to 20% value to your used vehicle right now? It's not by buying some fancy wheels. It's not by slapping a turbocharger on there. It's by cleaning
Tá
the headlights.
torto.
A car with yellowed headlights, statistically speaking, sells for significantly less than a car with polished headlights. Why is this? Why are we
O teclado tá torto.
this way, Mrs. Grooms? In some of these clips, you may notice that my workbench does not have a large height range from 22.8 to 48.4 inches, like the Flexi Spot E7.
The thing about the screen is you can't actually make it invisible because you want to be able to see it. Seen but invisible.
You think that has to be there?
So would you believe that back when I hollowed out the spot for the PC,
Vai fazer um vidro e vai fazer nome? Bagulho de cinema lá, sei lá, mano.
I also
Cara, não sei como que ele vai fazer isso.
hollowed out a spot for a projector, a 1-inch projector that fits inside the desk. And it reflects off of a mirror onto this.
An optically clear piece of polycarbonate with a very expensive nanoparticle film on it.
Nanoparticle.
That stops the image in the air for a levitating hologram screen. Came with instructions, no idea what I was reading. Can you help?
Nanoparticles.
It was finally time. So naturally, overnight, I grew a giant pimple on my face.
Bummer. And began assembling it all together.
Feels like I disassembled this thing like months ago, and that's because it was months ago.
The PC, keyboard, and projector are inside the desk, sealed away, not adding any thickness. Big help from the cable management tray. This thing, it actually looks like just part of the desk. But I didn't forget about the last wire, and you shouldn't either. The depth sensing camera and mini PC that are all mounted to the ceiling are wirelessly transmitting the cursor position to the Asus PC. Now it has this little integrated USB charge thingy that I was gonna wire into the PC as like some USB I/O, but I wanted to upload this month. The nanoparticle screen is hanging from 2-pound monofilament line to appear as though it's floating. Now this was all super finicky at first, but with some tweaking and a little more coding, I had the world's first invisible PC setup.
This is my keyboard, and this is my mouse. This is what I worked on for a very long time.
Da hora, mano.
I will now open Minecraft. Beep, 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 beep.
So what I learned throughout this: 1, can't be mad at Mrs. Grooms. Please don't send her hemorrhoid cream.
Kill chicken. Yeah, you back your chicken? I need to up my sensitivity.
But also that there's a real power to the things that we put in front of our eyes. And I think whether you're aware of it, consciously or not, you do realize that the things you see feed your mind, and out of that, things grow.
Oh, now we're cooking, boys. Guys, I'm getting, like, with the tweaking? The tweaking is done. Oh, I'm gaming now.
So maybe we're all instinctively...
Calma aí, chat, chegou a comida. Rapaziada, o Jack cagou no meio da porra da porta, cara. A porra do Jack cagou de novo, cara. As portas tudo abertas. Falou, vou cagar aqui no meio do bagulho, cara. Pô, esse gato, ele é maluco, cara.
Concern for what flows into our hearts and minds, even though we sometimes neglect them.
But Mr. Hommels, what about this big, nasty wire? Brother, I don't need wires.
Not wanting it to be cluttered, but to be the cleanest.
No wires. This is the invisible setup with 0 wires, 0 cable management, and it's all invisible.
So if the things that we're looking at and the things that we feed our minds shape us, then let me ask you, what did you just feed your mind?
Oh no.
You just keep wiggling your hand.
I don't know how to get back to the land.
So thanks again to FlexiSpot for making this possible, literally. And the desk that I've had for 5 years still has 10 years of warranty left, so...
Da hora, mano. Caralho, que cara genial, velho. Você recomendou aqui.